Hi, everyone. Welcome to part three of operations with rational numbers. So we've talked about simplifying fractions in part one, converting mixed numbers to improper fractions, converting fractions to decimals. Today we're going to talk about adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions. So adding and subtracting fractions, I would consider more challenging than multiplying and dividing. So we'll start with those. So the key for adding and subtracting fractions, make a common denominator. If they have a common denominator, great. That's half of the battle. But if they don't, we got to make the denominators common, and then we're going to add or subtract the numerators. So let's look at an example. You can pause and try it out if you'd like. So 3/4 plus 1/6. Common denominators, not yet. So we got to make common denominators. So to find a common denominator, you can either multiply the denominators, or you can look at the numbers, the denominators, and see, do I know a multiple? So 12 is the least common multiple, or if I do 4 times 6, I get 24. Both work. So now what I got to do is make new equivalent fractions. You can call it unsimplifying. So 3/4 becomes 9/12, and 1/6 becomes 2/12. Or we can do 24ths. So 3/4, you multiply both numerator and denominator by 6. And 1/6, you multiply both numerator and denominator by 4. And you get 18/24 and 4/24. Either way, you then, once they have common denominators, add the numerators across. So 9/12 plus 2/12 is 11/12, or 18/24 plus 4/24 equals 22/24. And the last thing you might have to do is simplify. So 22/24, numerator and denominator both divisible by 2, so it becomes 11/12. So both answers are the same. It does not matter whether you start with the smallest possible denominator or simplify later. Now, multiplication and division, you do not need common denominators, but we do always need to convert it to a multiplication problem, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So you have 3/10 divided by 5/6. Pause if you want to try this problem out. So we don't see common denominators, but we're not worried because it's a division problem. The first thing we have to do is take the reciprocal of the second fraction and make it a multiplication problem. So we have 3/10 multiplied by 6/5. We then can multiply straight across numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator to get 18/50. And then, like always, we should get in the habit of simplifying our fractions. So divide both numerator and denominator by 2. And in this case, it was necessary, we simplify. Now, the other way I've seen people do it is they'll get to this multiplication step and they'll simplify at this step. So what they'll do is they'll take a numerator and denominator and simplify it. So 6/10 becomes 3/5, and then multiply straight across. Practice both methods, see which one you like, and that's how you add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions.